Welcome, my name is Al Garrido and I come from Spain. Spain with an S, not pain. In recent months I've been uploading to this channel several videos about hair loss and how to fix it with different treatments such as Finasteride, minoxidil, etc. I've also tackled how and why hair loss is created in the first place due to the old evil hormone called DHT, which is here to make our lives more miserable and difficult day by day. Anyway, I would like to firstly thank all the people that subscribed so far and supported this channel. It really meant a lot to me and made me want to continue making these videos about a problem that many people around the world share. Hair loss. The purpose of this video is not only to introduce myself but also to tell my personal hair loss journey, meaning when I first started to notice balding, what I did against it, what my results were and what my next steps are gonna be. Cause yeah, even though I'm 25 years old, I started balding a long time ago, right after puberty, which was horrifying. But first, I feel like it's important to say out loud why I decided to make this video and why you are watching it. It is the sole reason that hair loss really sucks. For anyone, especially young people, it's one of the worst things that can happen to your image and self-esteem. That's right, I've said it. Of course, there will be people chill enough about the topic, saying that their solution was to simply shave it off and forget about it. And that's okay, but that is just the tip of the iceberg of people, in my opinion. The majority still really care about it and want to keep their hair forever. Why? Well, I believe it's because hair is not only part of your body, but also of your personality. Since you were a boy or a girl, you were born with your hair like you were born with the fingers on your hands. And what's more, we humans style our hair in certain ways that match our personality traits. You could be the Elvis Presley kind of guy, Justin Bieber, or even a crazy Albert Einstein. It just doesn't matter, you pick it, and that's the beauty of it. But once this evil DHT hormone comes in our lives and starts to take our once ludicrous hair away from us, that's when people really tend to suffer. You see, unlike the clothes you pick, losing hair is not a choice. You can't choose your own genetics and you can't fight against them. Or that's what I first thought. But fortunately enough, today you actually can. There are several treatments today that fight hair loss efficiently, such as Finasteride, Finasteride and minoxidil. Make sure to watch my previous videos to understand how they work and where to get them. And this, my friends, is our generation's gift. You see, my father was also balding when he was my age, but he had no choice at all. He was either getting a creepy hair transplant, because in that time in the 80s, the technique was not perfect at all, or going completely bald, which was what ended up happening to him. But you and me at least have a choice of either not doing anything at all and facing the bitter reality, or taking a pill every day, which is really what you need to do, and keep your hair indefinitely. Whatever you choose is fine, because it's your choice, but at least you got one, and that's my point. By the way, this wound here has nothing to do with taking Finasteride. I just fell down in a really stupid way, and that's really all there is to the story. Alright, so the moment you were all waiting for, my before and after pictures of the treatment. Somehow there's something really satisfying about seeing a before and after picture. If I tell you the truth, I first started balding when I was around 15, so right after puberty. Before, I had this perfectly shaped hairline worthy of jealousy. But then I started to develop these subtle temper recessions, nothing dramatic, but somewhat odd for a 15-16-year-old guy. I remember asking my parents what they thought about it and if they thought that I was gonna go bald when I got older. And of course, being protective parents, they told me that they thought it was something normal and it wouldn't progress from there. I guess like any parent, they just wanted me not to worry about it. And it's really what ended up happening. I never really thought much about it because it was not something too obvious at that time. Fast forward to my university years, however, and that's when things had a turn for the worse. Until I was 19 and managed to retain my hair more or less without any treatment. But around the year 2018, things escalated so quickly. Not only did the temple area recede so much further that I started to look like a weirdo, but it also started to affect my crown area. That's the moment you know that you are at the point of no return. And you know it, guys, it felt so bad. I started to develop this big anxiety about the topic. I would do almost every day a picture of myself to see the progress. And I was really worried because, as you can imagine, being a 20-year-old boy that wants to meet girls, this was one of the worst things that can happen to you. I know this is stupid, but at the moment I thought, how is someone going to want to date me if I'm completely bald by the time I'm 21 or 22? Terrible. So that's around the time I started to do some research and try to find a solution, if there was any. The first thing you come across on the internet when you look for hair loss prevention or hair loss restoration is hair transplant. There are hundreds of thousands of people on the internet posting their hair loss restoration journey. And for some reason, many people here in Europe go to Turkey for a hair transplant. It is of course because in the home country, a hair transplant can be something really overly expensive, sometimes exceeding the tens of thousands of dollars or euros. In contrast, you could get a decent hair transplant in Turkey for around 3,000 euros, which is considerably cheaper. But you know, the deeper I looked into that topic, the less interested I felt because it was not perfect at all. First, you're taking follicles from your donor area, which is the back of your hair, and putting them on the balding spots. This means basically that you only have a limited amount of follicles you can really work with. If you are a completely bald guy, like my father is, then there's no chance that that's gonna be enough for you. Second, and this is my personal opinion, hair transplants look kind of shitty. I don't know you guys, but after a while I developed a sense of who had a hair transplant in the past and who didn't. You can tell because of the hairline. Like in this picture, instead of having baby hairs on the front, some people will have strong, thick hairs, making it look unnatural. And the third reason is that even though you are going to profit from it in the future, it is still surgery, which is dangerous and it sucks. Anyway, I came across a British YouTuber, don't remember his name anymore, who was talking about his hair loss journey, and he was talking about how Finasteride changed his life completely. And when I say completely, I really mean it. He completely reversed his hair loss in just 4 months, and it gave him a maximum boost of his self-esteem. That's when I realized that a hair transplant is something completely unnecessary if you're taking Finasteride. So for those who don't know what the drug is, I will link a video that explains what it does. But basically it's a pill that you take every day so you can fight the true cause of androgenetic alopecia, which is the hormone DHT. And you know what? My world was illuminated. If I was going to fight hair loss somehow, that's how I was going to do it, not with a hair transplant. It just made so much more sense to me, because with a hair transplant, even though you get more new hair, the native hair that is still there is still gonna continue receding. So eventually you will go for a second or even a third time to get a hair transplant done. Completely unnecessary if you just tackle the problem from its roots, meaning DHT. And I know there are hundreds of people around there saying that they would rather go bald than taking a pill every day. And that's okay, but that's your choice. In my case, I would rather take one pill, which takes me less than 1 second, and save me the anxiety of going bald and everything that goes with it. Okay, so I established I wanted to start Finasteride, and it couldn't be at a better moment because that's when I had the worst hair situation of my life. The crown area was really starting to show, and there was no way of hiding it. And I was especially worried because I was dating a girl around that time, and I was worried about how it could affect the relationship. But spoilers ahead, it didn't. And what's more, I surely started to show improvement. 3 months later, I gained so much more density. It still wasn't perfect, but I could see it was at least working and going the right way. Month after month, there was just more and more improvement. But it wasn't until 2 years later that I had the best hair state possible. Once I saw that those gains were there to stay, I did something that I wanted to do forever, which was to leave my hair grow. So basically for 1 year I became modern Jesus. And I was so glad to have the opportunity at least once in my life to try it out. I know that even though I'm on medication, this hair won't stay here forever. So at least I can tell I tried having long hair once in my life. Now, part of the reason why I ended up cutting my long hair is because I was starting to notice it thinning again, especially around the hairline. At first, it was nothing to be too worried about, but this summer, it got worse. Once again, you could see the scalp because the hair was too thin to cover it. Now, I can't explain why this happened. Dutasteride or Finasteride are supposed to show long-term results, or at least longer term. In my case, I showed continuous improvement for 4 years until it started to recede again, and that's normally not the case. I would say I'm one of those rare cases where the drug was not really enough to completely stop my receding hairline. Now, having said that, let me remark that if it wasn't for the Finasteride I took, I would be looking much worse. So I'm glad about that. But I needed to find a new regimen. something to keep my previous hair gains and to stop my hair loss completely. I started once again with the research, and this time I decided to step up the game and add to my Finasteride regimen 3 more treatments. And let me tell you, so far it has been showing results. The 3 additional treatments I'm talking about are: first, microneedling; second, minoxidil; and third, nice roll shampoo. I'm just making a really quick summary of how each of these treatments works because I already tackled it in my previous videos. So microneedling consists of a dermaroller or a derma pen that contains very small needles, only millimeters long. By punctuating with microneedles once a week your thinning scalp, you will stimulate the dermal papilla of the follicle, promoting it to grow. That, in combination with minoxidil, which stimulates the growth of the follicles even more, has been shown to give you an incredible regrowth. At last, the Nice Roll shampoo works also as an anti-DHT treatment, stimulating growth on your scalp as well. So far, this is my 3rd week of the new treatment regimen. But just for you to get an idea, these were the results of a Reddit user using the same treatment. As you can see, he showed clear improvement after only 3 months. Now 8 months later, the results were even better. So as always with these things, it's important to stay consistent if you want to show improvements. One more big announcement I'm making. I'm going to make 2 big changes to this channel. First, I'm changing the channel's name to my name, Al Garrido. Second, in the future, besides hair loss videos and hair loss remedies, I will be uploading other types of videos because life is about more than just being worried about hair loss. In fact, we want to tackle the hair loss problem to move on and do the things in life that bring us fulfillment. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. But I will still continue with my hair loss videos as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Now, if you are new to this journey, I hope this story helped you to clarify a bit the options you have available. Don't forget to subscribe to see my 3-month results. And until then, I wish you a happy evening. Adios.